welcome back to KHAIR'S Garage. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Today we're gonna be installing that Alcantara steering wheel. I always seen it, wanted to do it, so we're gonna put it on there, see how we like it. If we like it, we'll keep it. If we don't, we'll get rid of it. So as y'all know, we have the standard Hellcat or SRT steering wheel, however you want to call it, and it's decent and all, but I just want to see what this one is like. So let's go ahead and do it. So the first step in doing this is always to disconnect your battery whenever you're doing electrical work. So let me go ahead, pop the trunk and do that real quick. So the tools you'll need for this are something like this, or like a really thin Allen key where you can get down in these holes on the side to get the airbag off, a pair of wire snips to cut off the old zip ties, 2 new zip ties to put on for your wiring harness, and pretty much like a 10 or 11 millimeter Allen wrench, or if you have an impact gun with the Allen end, use that. So once that battery is disconnected, you want to go ahead and hold down the start button for about 30 seconds, just so that you can drain out any little bit of power that's still in the car. All right, so once that's out, all you got to do is disconnect these 2 tabs right here. Use a flathead screwdriver, and you just get up underneath this tab like that. You pop them out one by one. And the same with the airbag connection that's up top right here. Little black tab, you just pull it and it'll come out. So the next step from here is to go ahead and get these 2, the black one here and the white one here, disconnected. And I know I'm ashy, bro, looking like Chief Keef in that one picture, but it's all good, because when you touch the Alcantara steering wheel, you can't have grease and stuff on your hands, it'll mess up the material. So that's why we ashy today, or at least that's my excuse. So go ahead and reach in there. You can get this one out fairly easy. I said that, now watch me struggle. All right, got that one out. And this next one right here is a little bit more difficult because the release tab is on the side. But just use something to get down in there and get that out. So now that that's done, next step is to get that bolt out. I believe this is anywhere from a 10 to a 13 millimeter. Don't know which one, but just go ahead and have all 3, 10, 11, well, for all 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, and just get a fit for it and make sure it has little to no wiggle room. And that's how you know it's the right size. And for me, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and use something like a wheel lock and just couple that up with the breaker bar and just turn and keep the steering wheel steady. But if you're better than me and went ahead and got an impact gun, it'd be a lot easier. So let me go ahead and do that and get to the next step. All right, so now that we got this thing hand loose, we're gonna go ahead and get it out. Is to make sure that when you're taking this out, you remove this little plate right here. Get that out first. And when pulling it off, you wanna make sure that these 2 wires here go through the steering wheel nice and easy. So you wanna pull off slow and work your way out of it, just so that you don't tear them. So just work your way through like that. And if you got an extra hand like I don't, just go ahead and make sure you get them out. So I might have to sit you down and get these out carefully. All right, so when you're done, you should look like this. I'm gonna go ahead and take this steering wheel. I have other parts to it, but I don't have all the screws. So I would have just had like a complete swap over, but since I don't, I'm gonna go ahead and start from scratch and take everything out of this steering wheel and just get it into that one. So for that part, I think we're just gonna go inside the house and do it. So let's get in there. All right, guys, so we're inside. And the first step is gonna be to go ahead and remove these 2, I don't know if you can see them or not, these zip ties down in there. Flip them over that way, you'll see down in the back. So with that, you can use a pair of wire snips or a pair of scissors, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Either one will work. With me, I'll just go ahead and use these because I have experience, but if not, I would say use the wire snips because they are a little bit more precise, so you don't end up cutting any wires. So let me go ahead and do that real quick and get right back with you. So now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and take these back plates off so that we can get access to the paddle shifters. You just lift it up with your finger. If you can't do that, just get a little pry tool or something. They are marked right and left, so you don't have to worry about getting them mixed up. And from there, you will get your Torx bits. I don't know why I said that like that. Torx bits. Well, yeah, you'll get those and remove number 1 and number 2. And after that, we'll flip it over and work on the front end. So once you have the paddle shifter screws removed, you want to go ahead and work on these two. And those will loosen up the actual directional pads on the opposite side, and then we'll flip it over and get to the rest. So once you have the back side done, there's going to be this screw right here. You remove that and the directional pads will come right off, and then you just disconnect from this point here in the steering wheel. So once you have the back end loosened, you'll go ahead and get this screw out of this directional pad here, and you'll be able to take it down. So once that's disconnected, I just go ahead and reapply all the parts as I go along so that you can remember what went where in the exact order. So yeah. So at this point, all you would do is disconnect this box here, which goes down to the heated steering wheel option. So that after that, you can just pull the whole thing, so you won't have to disconnect the directional pads one by one. You'll just pull the entire harness over and transplant, which makes it a lot easier. So with that, you would just disconnect that tab there, and everything else will pull out as a complete unit and just transplant over to the new steering wheel. First order of business, we're going to go ahead and tighten down this bolt here so that it can stay in place when we flip it over to secure the back end. So once that front end is secured, you're going to get that smaller screw and tighten it down on the back side right there. Do the same here, and then we can move on to the paddle shifters. So once we have the back end secured, you're going to go ahead and reconnect all of your wiring now, and then you'll bring these bolts back out right here, and you'll tuck these in the corner right behind there like that on each side, and then you'll just get it down in there, and then we'll go ahead and apply the zip ties. All right, so your next step is to go ahead and get the zip tie around the wiring the same way it was when you took it off. And to do that, you basically want to go down through the front and make it loop around through the back. And then from there, you'll just have to connect again. And just pull it as tight as you can and just snip the excess if you care to. So now that we got our zip ties and everything in place and paddle shifters fastened, we're going to go ahead and apply the back plates. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and get the last part, which is this plate attached, and then we'll get back in the car. All right, so now that we got this done, first order of business, wiggle them wires on through, y'all. Yeah, man, I'm still Ashy Larry, you feel me? But it's all good, that's what we need. All right, we got your plate. Then we're gonna grab that bolt and that Allen key. And then just make sure you get it tight. You don't want to just hand tight, but you don't want to over tighten it either, but just make sure it's decent enough. Like, you'll be able to feel when it's good. So pretty much the same tightness it was when you took it off. Just get it back to about that amount. All right, so that's tight enough. You want to go ahead and get your wires plugged back in place, same way you took them out before. So that black one on the left side and the white one on the right. And now we're ready for the airbag. You can't mess this up because the airbags are color coordinated, so just follow the colors. Blue with blue, yellow with yellow. Make sure it's in place and push down that orange tab till you hear it click like this. Then you know it's good. But make sure it's all the way seated before you push down on the tab. And then the last one is that black wire up top. Push it until you hear it click. And now that's good. So what I like to do is go ahead and plug the battery up and make sure everything is working with the directional pads and whatnot before you get started and paddle shifters. But I'm pretty confident because I've done this a couple of times, so I'm not going to do that. But I suggest you guys do that. But remember to unplug the battery again when it's time to press the horn in, unless you don't care if your neighbors hear your horn honking about 5 to 10 times when you get in the steering wheel airbag set. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply even pressure to both sides so I hear both click in. Give it a little tug on each side, make sure it's good. Alright, it seems to be in place good, y'all. So now I'm gonna get all these tools out of here. My car is hecka dirty, I should have cleaned it, but I guess I'll do that next weekend. And the last thing I like to do, grab your suede brush and just brush it off a little bit. It got a little dirty when we was in there handling it. Also, if any of y'all need an airbag, let me know. I don't really need it. I'll give it to you for cheap, $100. Hit me up, come get it. Or I'll mail it to you. All right, guys, so now we got the steering wheel in. It's looking good, man, looking good. Let's go ahead and get this battery plugged up and check all the functions. All right, y'all, we got the battery plugged up. Let's go ahead and get everything a test run. You always know it's gonna go back to that whenever you disconnect the battery, but then your SRT pages will load back up later on. I don't know why my AC was on, but yep. Let's go ahead and see if we navigate. Yep, everything is navigating on that side. And let's go ahead and crank it up. No lights on the dash per usual. That's why you always disconnect that battery first. Let's go back up. And you see I'm pressing the cruise control, so you know everything works on that side as it's supposed to. And yeah, so it's pretty simple, y'all. Just go ahead and follow the directions. Let me know what y'all think about the steering wheel. I like it. And appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.